December 13, River Falls City Council meeting. First thing we'll do is stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, can we have a roll call, please?
Bierstead?
Here.
York?
Here.
Carroll? Downing?
Here.
Morset?
Here.
Miller? Odine?
Here. Okay, next we have approval of minutes from the November 22nd meeting.
I move
approval.
Second.
First and second on the minutes. Do we have any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next we have approval of the bills with Mr. Morissette.
Mayor and council, I make a motion we approve the bills in the amount of $3,404,604.19 subject to the comptroller.
Second.
First and second, questions or comments on the bills? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, next move on to public comments. If there's anybody in the audience has anything like to stand up and talk about, now would be the time. Okay, we'll move on. First thing we'll do is close the council hearing and open up a public hearing on ordinance 2022-20, amending the official traffic control map. This would add a stop sign at the intersection of State Street and Hamilton Drive. Is there anybody in the audience has anything like to say about this? Okay, we will close the public hearing and open up the council hearing, and I will take a motion on this.
I'll move that we approve the new stop sign at State and Hamilton.
Second.
Okay, first and second, questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, next move on to, we're gonna have an update on the 2018 Comprehensive Housing Needs Analysis. And this will be from our city planner, Sam Burns.
All right. Good evening, Mayor and Council members. My name is Sam Burns. I'm a planner with the city, and I'm here to provide information on the 2022 Maxfield Housing Study Update. So a quick agenda for the presentation. We'll take a look at a recap of the 2018 housing study, some top line numbers from the 2022 housing study, some outcomes as a result of these numbers, and a brief summary. In 2018, the city contracted Maxfield Research and Consulting to complete a comprehensive housing study for the community. The result was a document that provided insight into current demographics, a review of our current housing stock, analysis of for sale housing, analysis on costs in the community and affordability, a housing needs analysis, and finally conclusions and recommendations. While all the information was valuable, the most crucial data was a housing needs analysis. The needs analysis took data on our current demographics, our current housing stock, and projected the need to 2030. This essentially told us how many and what kind of units are projected to be needed to be built between 2018 and 2030. The importance of a healthy supply of housing options cannot be understated. A healthy supply keeps prices reasonable and provides options in a fair and competitive market. In 2022, after 4 years that included a pandemic, historic market trends, and the completion of the 2020 census, staff thought it would be a good time to get an up-to-date picture of our current housing needs. We contract with Maxfield again to have them update only the housing needs analysis section. The rest of the study from 2018 remains largely relevant. Here you'll see a number of units needed per year according to the 2018 data. The 2022 yearly need by unit type is available as well. Note that these numbers are average annual demand, not projection total numbers. Both project our need to the year 2030. You have the for sale single family and multifamily, you have market rate rental, but also deep and shallow subsidy rental. Shallow subsidy is defined as housing affordable to households that earn between 30 and 50% of the area median income, whereas deep subsidy is for households that earn less than 30% of the area median income. For a family of 4, 30% is $35,200. For a family of 4, 50% is $58,650. It's projected that we need to be building more per year in 2022 than we did in 2018. This is largely a result of two factors. One, despite a historic amount of units permitted, we did not build enough from the years 2018 to now to keep up with demand. And two, outside forces that increase the demand for units in River Falls remain. River Falls is an excellent community and people want to live here. It's important to note a couple other things. First, the 2022 study does take into account the large amount of new housing created or permitted in 2022 and all that is currently in the development review pipeline. These demand numbers are what remain after the new housing is counted. Second, senior housing remains one of our largest needs and one where we continue to be underbuilt. Here's a specific breakdown of the senior housing needs. The study projects only 5 years to 2027 for senior housing due to the complexity of different senior housing types. Above, you can see some of the different senior housing types. Those are active adult rental and for sale housing. And then there's active adult affordable, which differentiates between deep subsidy and shallow subsidy. Again, we have displayed the average annual need of each unit type. The study also counted the need for enhanced senior housing, those being independent living, assisted living, and memory care. The wide variety of need types make it a difficult section to categorize, but the overall numbers make clear that we need more senior housing in the community. It's important to build more units for the current cohort of seniors, but the current generation of seniors is much larger than the generation that will follow. Maxfield makes note of this in the study and states that in the future, senior housing no longer needed provides opportunities to retrofit into market rate or other units. So some outcomes as a result of these numbers that we just chatted about. Our vacancy rate and housing supply remain critically low. At the time the study was conducted, River Falls had just a 0.7% vacancy rate. In 2018, the vacancy rate was 1.2%. A healthy market has a vacancy rate in the range of 5 to 7%. We have a for sale housing supply of just 1.6 months. A healthy for sale market has a 6-month supply. Another key takeaway is that our housing market is an ecosystem where the amount of one type of housing affects the others. For example, a senior citizen might be renting a market rate unit due to the lack of senior housing. Thus, a market rate renter may be unable to find a unit despite our study saying we have built enough market rate units. People do not fit neatly into categories and will live in units that are available and economically feasible. Furthermore, the creation of new units of all kinds has a ripple effect across the market. An individual who lives in an affordable unit and has more money to spend on housing due to a raise or a new job would be tempted to leave the current housing if new market rate rentals were built. This in turn would open up another unit of affordable housing back up. To underscore this point, a survey of residents in a newly built market rate multifamily complex in River Falls found that 32% of the new residents that were just moving in already lived in River Falls before moving into the community. Finally, as a result of the investment in the 2018 housing study and our 2022 update, we now have a better understanding of the housing needs of the community. This continues to allow us to focus our efforts to promote different housing types and focus on subsidizing units with the tools available to us. Additionally, this study is important as we continue to work on the comprehensive plan and will guide policy recommendations on items such as tiny homes, accessory dwelling units, and other opportunities to ease housing costs for the community. This data is crucial as we continue to work to ensure that the community has adequate housing options. So with that, I'll leave you with a brief summary. The City of River Falls has made certain progress in housing, specifically market rate rentals. However, there remains a deep need for new units in River Falls, just as there remains a unit across the country. The entirety of the study, with all the numbers, methodology, analysis, are now available on the city websites for further viewing. I'll defer back to you, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks, Sam. Does anybody have questions for Sam?
Yeah, I have some questions and notes, actually, if I can go with it. I read through the Maxwell report multiple times, and of course there's they're only human, so of course there's errors and some things as simple as when they say 15 areas and you count and there's only 14. I think they forgot Polk County, to be honest with you, but there's a multiple other errors too in the report. So I find find it interesting that our population from year 2000 to 22 has increased by 30% in the city, and the households have increased by about 40%. So that's a good sign that we're getting more households to take care of the population, and that in the PMA, that the population went up about 25%, 27%, and the households went up 35%. So again, we have a good spread there and a good trend. So part of my concern is that when you look at our population, today, 27.5% of our population is over 55. Most people over 55 aren't going to add population to our community. They're not going to have more kids. They're not going to be adding to the school district. And so that need for their housing is not there, but their need for the senior housing is. The population for over 45, and again, I'm going to drop it down to 45, because if you're 45, you're probably done having children too. That's a little over 40% of the population is over 45 in our area. So there's not a growth there. So, right now our balloon of the number of people is in that 25 to 34 range. So yes, they're going to be producing kids and making kids and so forth, and not to get into details there. So, but I think we've really done a good job of taking care of and working to have housing, and I hope we're not going to extend ourselves, knowing that there isn't a lot of growth coming, as in population growth. We have a lot of single homes that are single residents or senior housing. I think of the neighborhood just west of in Hudson, west of the industrial park there, and it's whatever it is, 1,400 people have been added there, and out of that, there's only 3 or 4 kids in that whole area that have been added to the school district. So I think we need to be a little cautious of how fast and how we want to grow things too, because I don't think it's maybe as prevalent as we think. So I'll leave it at that right now and let somebody else talk, and then I might have some other things to share.
Anybody else got anything?
All right, well then let me just say another thing too. So our population under 20 years of age is not a big number, and that's going back from year 2000 to 22, right? So 22 years, that population of under 20 and under is increased by less than 3%. By less than 3% it's increased. That's not a big increase in 22 years. So, and that's where I deem or see our growth of our community is with the younger people. But maybe what we want to do is continue to attract in more senior housing people from outside City of River Falls and outside the area to come here and be closer to the Twin Cities. So again, I'll stop, and I'm just surprised nobody else has anything else to say.
Okay. Anybody else have anything? Okay. Move on to the administrator's report. Scott, have
Sure.
anything for us, or if anybody has any questions for Scott?
Just a couple of announcements or reminders. So, City offices will be closed in observance of the holidays on December 23rd, 26th, and January 2nd. So the next council meeting, the council has canceled their next meeting in December, so the next council meeting will be January 10th, 2023. There is a number of activities getting going at the library, including Winter Wellness Adult Program Series through January through March. So I encourage people to go to the riverfallspubliclibrary.org website or the city's rfcity.org website and learn more about that. Otherwise, on behalf of the staff of the city, I want to show appreciation for the council and their support of our work, and we believe we had a good 2022 and hope you agree. And we can't do that without your support, so we hope that everybody has a happy and healthy holiday.
Dan, can I add something? Maybe it's not the place, maybe it's too early, but I'd like to tell Mike Stifler, thank you for the years of service that he's given to our city, to our community, and Mike has the opportunity to go back home and be with family, with mom and dad back in Hutchinson, and I just have really been honored and privileged to know Mike, and I wish he wasn't leaving, but he is going to be leaving, and I don't blame him for being with family. So, Mike, thank you very much for all you've done.
Okay. Move into closed session. We were recessing in closed session for Wisconsin State Statute 19.851E for the following purposes: deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business, whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. To wit, Whitetail Ridge Corporate Park, Lot C, St. Croix County Parcel 276-1040-30-250. And can I get a roll call for this?
Mr.
Well,
Mayor.
actually, I need a motion first, sorry.
I so move.
Second.
Okay, got that taken care of.
Okay.
Bjork.
No.
Yes.
Okay.